MS to me is my own personal superpower. Hi, my name is Sabira, the Millennial Burnout Coach, and welcome to the Burnout Free Lifestyle. I have officially been free of all debilitating multiple sclerosis symptoms for over 2 years without any medical intervention, and I hope by sharing my experience I can help someone out there who's been recently diagnosed or who's really going through it at the moment in terms of the amount of relapses they're having. Let's rewind to 2019. I was sat in front of a consultant and he said to me, Sabira, I don't want to say 100% and I don't want to say 99% because that's basically 100, but I'm 98% sure you have multiple sclerosis. My immediate reaction was just silent tears. I sat in front of this man just in silent tears of rage, silent tears of despair. I can't tell you what it was. I was just speechless. Then I finally regained my voice and I went, where did I go wrong? And he said, you haven't gone wrong. You've done everything right. I was going to the gym 6 times a week, sometimes twice a day, predominantly plant-based, going on holiday, had a great job in the investment industry. I had achieved work-life balance. But then in that moment, I realized I hadn't had work-life harmony. Now, if you want to know more about the difference between work-life balance and work-life harmony, I do have a separate video on that. But in that moment, what occurred to me, my realization was, I've been living a high-stress lifestyle. For 4 years, I've been living such a high-stress lifestyle, and I'm a huge believer that when you experience stress, when that's intangible, your body will find a way to let you know. And that's what had happened to me. After 4 consecutive years of living through trauma and turmoil, my body finally said, enough is enough. We need to deal with this. So I was in a position where I decided that I was going to accept the diagnosis because clearly something was wrong, but I was going to reject the prognosis, which is something that's really hard to do when a medical professional is telling you, you have this condition, this is what it means for you, this is what your life is going to look like. I had to make a decision that what they were presenting to me was not what I wanted for myself. So I redefined multiple sclerosis. I redefined MS more specifically, because with multiple sclerosis, medical professionals don't know what causes it or cures it. They do not know. There are so many theories, and till this day, they still do not know. However, if I redefine MS to mean multiple stress, I can work with that. I understand what stress is. I understand what stress looks like. And I understand that I need to get rid of that stress if I wanted to actually live a healthy life free of MS. So I reflected on my past year of experience and symptoms and realized that actually every time I had a relapse, it was immediately after a stressful situation in my life. So the most stressful situation I had in that moment was my job, my investment job. I decided that I needed to resign. So I resigned from the investment industry. I took a career break. In that time, I retrained as a holistic health practitioner to better understand the relationship between stress and autoimmune conditions, stress and the body. I discovered psychoneuroimmunology, which gives scientific credence to the mind-body-soul connection. I then created the Burnout Free Lifestyle. I created a signature framework that would enable me to live a life free of excessive stress, so I can see whether that would actually help me get my life back on track and not have these MS relapses. 5 months of living the burnout free lifestyle, I was free of all symptoms. Up until that point, I was having symptoms every 8 weeks. I went 5 months with no symptoms. However, at the end of those 5 months, I was realizing that I can't live on universal credit, i.e. government unemployment benefits. I like earning money, I'm used to earning money, and I was used to receiving a lot more money than I was getting from the government. And that triggered financial stress, because actually financial security is something that's one of my top 5 core values. And so the introduction of that level of stress, that intangible, ambiguous stress, triggered me to have another relapse. My first relapse in 5 months, optic neuritis, lost eyesight in my right eye. Now I was able to reduce the inflammation through meditation and my eyesight returned within that same evening, but it was very clear to me that stressful situations most definitely triggered relapses. I didn't want relapses, so I needed to make sure I wasn't having those stressful situations in my life. And that's what I did. So for the last 2 years, I have been living the burnout-free lifestyle. I have created a lifestyle that's conducive to my health and well-being in all areas, both personal and professional. And as a result, I can confidently say that whilst I still very much do have a diagnosis of MS, and I'm very much still in contact with my consultant and medical professionals, I don't pretend that I don't have a diagnosis, because that would be dangerous. I no longer have to live with MS in my day-to-day life. I can go to the gym, do my HIIT workouts, spend a whole day working, having fun, going out, and not experiencing any relapses. So for anyone who has been recently diagnosed or experiencing a lot of relapses at the moment, I appreciate that having symptoms in itself is stressful, but take a moment to look at your life holistically and see if you can identify where those triggers are. What are the correlations? What are the patterns that you've experienced in your life that precede a relapse? Because once you understand that for yourself, you can go some way to increasing your quality of life and not having to live with MS. One thing I do not do is call myself an MS warrior. I don't identify or associate myself with something I was diagnosed with. I may have in the past experienced MS symptoms, but I personally am not an embodiment of MS. MS to me is my own personal superpower. It's my body's personal barometer to let me know when I've taken on too much stress, when the stress levels in my life have become dangerous. If I start to experience a symptom or I have a symptom, it simply means the levels of stress in my life are way up here and I need to bring them all the way back down. So multiple sclerosis for me, that diagnosis was the most liberating thing I experienced. It was devastating in the moment, but it's been the most liberating thing I've experienced because it gave me permission, it gave me the wake-up call I needed to change my life. So I was no longer living a high-stress lifestyle. It took me from simply existing in this world to actually living and showing up fully as my authentic self and creating a life that I love each and every day. So if you've been recently diagnosed with MS or you are experiencing symptoms, just take a moment and see if you can identify, spot any patterns. I am not claiming to cure MS. I'm not claiming to change your life, but it most definitely can change the quality of your life. See you next time.